Questions on my mind, looking for direction, needing strength for the climb, but there's a road that leads to freedom, a path where grace remains. That's why we're here together now. Welcome to Changing Lanes. We elevate the mind, healing in the heart, letting faith realign. From mental health to God's truth that breaks chains. Hope lies here, yeah. This is Changing Lanes. Purpose every day. Grow, learn, walk in purpose every day.
Good evening, Changing Lanes family. Welcome to another episode of the Changing Lane podcast. We're so glad to be with you on today. We apologize for our absence, but we're getting things off the ground, so bear with us. But we're just so happy to be here today. We have another special guest with us on today that we're going to talk to, and we're going to listen, and we're going to just talk about life and things that pertain to life and other aspects. If you have your questions, don't forget you can type them in, and we'll read them as we get them. We just appreciate you, and once again, welcome to the Changing Lane podcast. And today we have with us none other than our family, our brother, our friend, Brother Benard Tidwell. Amen. Let's say amen for him on tonight. Amen. Amen. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother, for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule to join us.
You're welcome, and I appreciate you having me here, and even considering me to be a part of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's an honor to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're glad to have you. You have a lot going on, and
yes, sir.
It's always good to talk to people that's got stuff going on. So you was definitely on my list. So we want to introduce you a little bit of what we have, and then we'll let you kind of introduce yourself of what we don't get to.
Okay.
All right. He is of the believer of the way, son of the Most High. He's the third son of siblings to Calvin Tidwell and Johnny Pearl Tidwell. 58.9 years old, married to Lashonda M. Tidwell, 30 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
4 children. Is it Mikhail or Michael?
Michael. It's Michael.
Michael, Bernterius,
Yep.
Bernasia, Lashonda, 6 grands, 3 boys, 3 girls, born in Rockford, Illinois, partially raised in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
That's right.
Amen. That's a little bit of what I know of him. Amen. He can introduce himself and tell us what we didn't get. So if you would, just tell us a little bit about yourself that I didn't say.
Well, I am a small business owner. I've been in the window tinting business professionally since '89. I started in Rockford back in '89 professionally, but I got my first start in high school.
Okay.
My big brother Michael Dale always had me tint the back windows on his cars, on his Cadillac, his 9/8s and his deuce and quarters and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you how the Most High works. Ironically, I got started back in high school with my partner Jeff Porter. I used to tint his cars. So I started tinting at the car wash where I am today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in the Berry Bay.
Wow.
Yeah, I tinted Michael Dale's cars there, my cousin Lionel Tidwell. Yeah, a lot of cars. I started right there where I'm at. I said, man, wow. It's amazing how the Most High can bring something full circle.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been there 22 years. Myself and my partner, Tim Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah. We've been on that corner 22 years.
Shout out to Tim.
Yeah.
Barbershop Tim.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Man, I didn't realize you had been there that long.
It went by fast.
Man.
It went by fast.
So you probably tinting almost every car in Hot Springs.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to get some of these building and houses.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I always used to tint on the front of this building as well. But I'm also been a part of the military. I came in the Army Reserve in 2012. Okay. And I've been in there ever since.
Okay.
Most High willing, I'll be finishing up in March of 27.
Okay.
And prior to that, I had went to the Army in '87.
Okay.
Kind of on a dare because Jeff Porter went in and I wasn't doing nothing after high school. I said, well, you know, if this little sport kid can go in, I go in too and make the best of it. Because I wasn't thinking about the military.
Yeah.
I used to look out the window in high school when I was supposed to be paying attention in class, seeing the guys doing ROTC marching back and forth. I was like, man, them little nerds.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And matter of fact, one of those dudes that's a officer in the fire department, Kenny Bird.
Okay.
I used to watch him marching, you know, in ROTC back and forth. I'm like, man, why they marching in ugly shoes, man? I should have had my butt in there because it'd help me out.
Yeah.
Because you never know what direction life go into.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I did active duty.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was in communications, and I started and did 2 years on a National Guard here in Arkansas.
Okay.
And that's way back in the day. That's when you had trucks, you had to shift the gears, and no power steering, no power brakes. When you turn the corner, you better move your hand, let the wind spill, don't break your hand off. You learn communications, and I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, to boot camp. After that, Fort Gordon, Georgia, and learned the signal trade. And I kind of got bored with it.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I had a drill sergeant. I remember him to today in AIT, Drill Sergeant Lee. It's like, Tidwell, you're square away. So you need to quit playing because the acronyms for the regular Army was RA, and the reserves was RS, and then National Guard was NG. So they call us nasty girls. They said, so y'all, man, get out of that nasty girl stuff, man. Come on to regular Army. He said, man, look, I'm going to tell you something. He said, I'm 20 years going to pass real fast. Yeah. Boy, was he right. Yeah. He said, man, you should go and do that 20 years and get it out the way. I should listen. I wouldn't be trying to finish it up now. Right. Hey, things happen the way it happened.
Okay, listen, at least you finishing it.
Yep. I went from there to Rockford, and I've been in like Texas because I went to the school of the Art Institute of Dallas. Okay. For music and video business for a little bit. Okay. Transferred to National Guard down there in Signal, and then went from there, dropped out, and I went back to Rockford and got in that unit there. Okay. And I got bored with the National Guard. I said, you know what, I want to go regular Army. Mm-hmm. So I went to the MEPS in Chicago. They signed me up, sent me down to Georgia, Fort Stewart, Georgia, down on the East Coast, close to Savannah. Mm-hmm. And when I got there, I'm like, wow, all they trucks is sand color. I ain't never seen. I didn't know they exist. And I'm like, when I got to my unit and they told me, I'm like, why the truck sand color and not, camouflage green? Right. They said, oh man, we cover the Middle East threat. We rapid deployment. I said, man, I'm about to get my car back out of Chicago. I done came to the wrong place, cuz. I want some regular Army, but not that much. Not that much. And took me to Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Spent 7 months over there. Okay. And made it back. You know, I prayed. I prayed, look, I wasn't worried about the conflict. I just prayed that I come back home, come back to my family. Yeah. You know, and I prayed, actually, not to have to take somebody's life. Right. You know, but it came down to it. It's like a movie. It came down to the point where soldier to soldier, and when you're looking at soldiers that's on the horizon, as far as you can see from the left and right, hundreds of soldiers. Yeah. And they coming towards you like, man, everybody might not feel like giving up. Yeah. It only take one of them to have a grenade up on their clothes and start, let that AK go. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High did bless them. Yeah, great. I mean, it came to pointing the weapon, taking it off safe, and just waiting. Mm-hmm. And my enemies they laid their weapons down. Mm-hmm. So that scripture when we talk about being in the shadow of the valley of death, surrounded by the enemies, when they got to me, hey, they stumble and fall. Yeah. Ain't stumble and fail, but they laid their weapons down. So when I hear that scripture, man, I can't help it. I tear up because I've been there. Man, I know what death look like, smell like, because I saw the worst one human being can do to another. Yeah. And that's what war is. Yeah. It ain't about winning or losing, it's about surviving. Yeah. Man. But you still take something home with you, man. Yeah. So it was pretty deep, and I had a soldier in that I didn't know, but a soldier that had problems, and that's why mental health is so important. Okay. We had a young soldier that went AWOL from the MEP station before we even started basic. He was downtown South Carolina for Jackson for 2 weeks. They brought him back, made him go through through training. Because back in the 80s, ain't no stress cars, ain't no time.
Right.
You're going to do what the drill sergeant tell you.
Right.
But I had training with him that day, and I was squad leader, and they said, Tidwell, you handle, take care of this soldier. And it came down to us. And, we was in a space probably about as big as this room, and we had live ammo. We had about 90 rounds of live ammo. We had little training grenades, and it came down to him and I, because they had woke me up. I'm like my dad. If I sit still long enough, I'm going to sleep. The soldier was taking rounds out of his magazine, put them in his weapon, and lock and load. And I, hey, man, don't do that. What is you doing? The soldier just said, I just want to see if I can single feed, my weapon. It's like, man, don't play around. You got live ammo. Don't play around like that. And it came down to myself and him. He was my battle buddy for the day. I said, man, I got to use this wood line. I got to go to the train. So back then, you couldn't take your weapon to the porta-johns or the train, because the cycle before, a female had killed herself. So I said, watch my weapon. I went out to hooch. Did my business. On the way back, I hear a pop, and I look in the doorway, and the soldiers crossed over his weapon. And I'm like, man, what's going on? I know they're not playing with them training grenades. They put your eye out.
Right.
And the soldier committed suicide right in front of me. With his weapon. And man, it's like you see something, but you don't believe what you see.
Right.
And that still stick with me today, And I say, well, you know what? When I get in the reserve for the soldier I couldn't save back then, I'll be there to say that next one. If it come down to it.
Right.
Even if it's a conversation, because you never know what people's going through. And he felt like he couldn't go home, coming from a military family, and he felt like I can't go forward because I don't want to be in the military.
Right.
So he took himself out, and it was sad. I wrote it in my we got a little yearbook, private base, and that sticks with me today. To think about that. And unfortunately, we got 22 soldiers a day commit suicide.
Wow.
22 too many.
Wow.
And these are soldiers that went through hardcore combat, went through Afghanistan, Iraq, some of the worst battles, and made it back home whole, but they're not whole up here.
Right.
So, man, and they just, it's hard for them, a civilian, to understand. And soldiers, that rough and tough stuff, we don't always reach out and let somebody know, hey, man, I'm having problems. Well, my wife knew I was having problems, because I kept having dreams and nightmares. She said, you know what? Because I used to have dreams and nightmares about going back in the military. And she said, you need to get back in there. So make both of us get some sleep.
Yeah.
And that's why I went back in 2012. Besides, Mom said, hey, you can't preach and teach your children, to finish what you start.
Yeah.
If you don't do it.
Right.
So I said, go back in. And my mom is the one that influenced me. She was the first one to put me in the Cub Scouts. Put my first uniform on.
All right.
And she said, hey, you better get back in there and draw a check. She said, you don't have no check coming from your business if you ain't putting that back.
Right.
And Johnny Pearl said, draw a check. So I get back in there so I can draw a check.
Shout out to Mother Pearl.
Yeah. Mama don't play.
Yeah.
But she was the first one. She still got that little picture of being in a Cub Scout uniform.
Oh, wow.
So I've been wearing the uniform ever since.
Man, so hey, we definitely appreciate and thank you for your service that you've given.
Yes, sir. It's an honor.
And while you was talking, I was thinking how, we say that to soldiers, we say that to people in the military, and shout out to everybody that's either serving or have served in some capacity of military. But we say that, man, and it sounds good, and we giving them the accolades, and we appreciate them. But like you said, if for us that's never been there, I have no idea the mental toll.
Oh yeah.
That goes on with the service that you provide.
Yes, sir.
I had a friend. He went to the military. When he came back, he ended up going to war, and he came back, man, and he couldn't even go in the meat section of a grocery store for a long time. He was having flashbacks, and that meat, that blood and stuff reminded him of what he saw. And man, I mean, just kind of like from your perspective, man, like how like if you had to talk to somebody that had been through some of the things you've been through, and they were afraid to seek help, they are in shame or embarrassed or felt they was too strong, or that if I got through this, I'm all right. We always tell ourselves we're all right a lot of times. We're all right. We not all right. And everybody around us let us know we're not all right.
Don't nobody lie to us more than we lie to ourselves.
We lie to ourselves more than anybody.
Yes, sir.
And so what would you like? What would be some advice you would give?
I would speak to the soldier in confidence, and first of all, I would try my best to put myself in his shoes or her shoes, and let them see what I've been through, and get them to open up. If they don't want to say anything, I'm saying, well, look, this is my perspective, and this is what I've been through. This is what I see. And then I'm going to tell them, this is what I see in you. Because sometimes you have to, as much as we, in the military, discipline and structure, you cannot always tear the soldier down. You have to build them up and let them know, and you got to balance it out. You know, this is for your good. And in the situation with that soldier that committed suicide, my drill sergeant came down hard on him that day. He was not in our platoon, so he was not our soldier, but a drill sergeant has a job to do.
Right.
You know, they have to break down the civilian and build up the soldier. So they got to get you from all that comfort stuff and create stress, constant stress. So when you get out that, we didn't ring around in no buses. We literally came to basic training in cattle trucks. And once you get off that bus, they do a shark attack. You got five drill sergeants screaming and yelling at you, different orders to do at the same time. And you don't want, and hey, I'm still from off the block. And drill sergeant's like, any soldier can't find you, any private can't find their bags, raise your hand so we can help you find your bag. I said, drill sergeant can't find my bag? He came, you better not let me find your bag, Tidwell. You better not let me find it. I heard him find my bag. They would have joke on the back, the front, and walked off. But you have to, you know, share something common, you know, create some humor, and get them to be comfortable with you first. Because a lot of things are deeply personal.
Yeah.
And these are things they're not going to tell their wives, their mom, their brother. They're only going to speak to another service member that's been there and done that. Because they feel comfortable.
They feel comfortable, yeah.
Because we've all shared, you know, the same blood and the same mud and been in the same places. And so we understand. Because even going through the VA with counselors that I have, 3 counselors. I have main psychiatrist, video chat, and then I have counselors here in Hot Springs, and another one for PTSD. I go to Little Rock, and I ain't ashamed of it. Hey man, I got problems.
Yes sir.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I snap off. What's that phrase the kids use? Crash out.
Yeah. Crash out.
I can have a great day and come home and something is out of place, and my wife and kids will tell you, they just crash out for no reason. You know what I'm saying? If something ain't done, y'all been here all day, and you see that sitting on the floor, you picked it up. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you need to go out, Maestro. You need to go outside and try it again. You was going off of nothing. You know, but it's certain triggers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's in military, like your friend, he triggers if he see bloody meat. And I used to get triggered by, and I still get triggered by different sounds. Now I can go to sleep with the surround sound on and a war going on. But if I hear a faint little sound, man, I'm jumping. And then I might go outside and I'm on patrol. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
it's just the soldier in me and the experiences I've been through, man. But look, when you experience the worst one human being can do to the other and see the carnage and the bodies, hey man, look, war don't care about who it kills. When it's civilians, when it's old people, when it's children. Man, I was on, if you ever look up Desert Storm, the Highway of Death in Iraq. I mean, right after the bombings, I drove down through that. You know, I never made it to Kuwait, to the city that we're supposed to liberate, but it was tough.
Yeah.
And I also got to see the best that, you know, human beings can do for another. Because I didn't know the medic's doctrine is for life saving. And like the chaplains, they don't carry a weapon. They have a chaplain assistant with them who carries a weapon. But the medics, they were, if there's an Iraqi soldier out there and he lays his weapon down, he's injured, he's a non-combatant. Medics, they have a duty to take care of that soldier, even though it's the so-called enemy. I didn't know that.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, but they would get out and help them. I'm like, man, so it helped balance it out, the humanity. You know what I'm saying? We're not robots. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, back in the day, like, oh, he went to Vietnam, like Uncle Lonnie, he was shell shocked and stuff like that. Like, man, Uncle Lonnie will snap off, boy. I used to snap off on some folks. I'm like, he had issues with Vietnam. My dad and Uncle Al said, hey, that boy had issues before he went to Vietnam. That joker there snap off quick.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in my blood, but I'm real laid back, you know, like my dad, but I have triggers and stuff I deal with. And when you talk to your soldier, you got to let them know, man, look, at the end of the day, we human. and there's help available for you. But soldiers have a hard time opening up and talking. You know what I'm saying? And laying that foundation to be able to get the help you need.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not going to go to professionals, man, call your battle buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got a chain of command. Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, if you go out and get in a place by yourself, talk to yourself. Talk to the Most High.
Oh, yeah.
And it stop you from taking yourself out. You know, because it is a tragedy. And then we having younger people these days that feel like, you know what I'm saying, if something don't go right with them, because you know, the world today is so built on feelings and emotion. It's so far from right and wrong. It's about how I feel. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much more than that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that takes away the discipline and the structure and the rules and regulations when it's just about a feeling. Because I feel that I should have my way. Well, somebody else gonna feel like, you know what I'm saying, your way is wrong, and I feel it should go this way.
Right.
That's why we have we have gender wars between male and female. I mean, you know, light skin, dark skin, and black and white, and Republican and Democrat. It's so much division.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a shame.
Oh, yeah.
Especially amongst our people.
Yeah, so much. Yeah. Yeah.
And I see it all the time, man. And you know, you see stuff on social media, you might comment, and I'll say, I don't want to comment in that because I don't want to be a part of a gender war.
Right. Right.
Because we all need each other.
You're absolutely right.
At the end of the day, and sometime before in the morning.
You got that right.
We need each other. So, I mean, what are we going to do? We going to go on an island by ourselves? You know, with all men and all women? There ain't going to be nobody left.
Ain't nobody left with you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I praise the Most High that I made it this far in my military service. Because, you know, when a soldier go to war, we don't pick and choose. We can't say, I'm going for one person or another. I'm going for one side of the aisle or another. Or I'm going for black people. I'm going for white. Look, we serve for all.
Yeah.
We serve for people that would probably kill us on the street.
Right. Right.
You know, and I was talking to somebody the other day. It was like, man, I want to go to the military, but I'm kind of scared. I don't know. Man, look, young black male, I'm here to tell you, your life expectancy is better in a war zone than on the streets. And wow. That's a testament because, hey, after I came back from Desert Storm, I got shot at in Rockford way more than I got shot at in Desert Storm. I mean, it's a shame.
You were safer over there.
Man, because I mean, you know who your enemy is.
That is crazy.
Yes, sir. But I know who my enemy is over there.
Yeah.
Here you don't know your enemy. Yeah. Your enemy could be your best friend, your relative.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? They don't wear enemies here don't wear uniforms.
Yeah.
But and even on a spiritual aspect, I approach it like a soldier. I gotta know my enemy and do my little salute report. And in the military, we do a salute report. The S is the size, the A is the activity, the location. The U is the uniform, the T is tactics and equipment. So I can do that spiritually, and I can understand what my enemy is doing. Because I've been under spiritual attack. You know what I'm saying? My whole family's been under spiritual attack.
Yeah.
When we get to talking about the goodness of the Most High and all the good stuff, and we praise and worship, but we don't want to talk about the other side. Where the witches, warlocks, and demons, you know, man, that stuff is more real. Hey, look, the spiritual world is more real than the physical.
Oh yeah,
and we don't talk about it as much. We will try to act like we don't deal with it. But I'm gonna tell you something about Hot Springs is different from any other place I've been in this world. That you have more people with mental illness, and most people that's dealing with mental illness, they're dealing with a spirit. And I've never seen so much stuff with sex, drugs, alcohol, more so than here. I've only had one other experience with, I would say, a spiritual thing with, I can't say demonology or nothing like that, but it was like, I had a girlfriend in the military. And she was from southern Georgia, you know, real country girl. And, you know, back then we had that black and white TV. And after what, 10, 11 o'clock, that thing go off. After the, you know, national anthem, you're going to have that little thing. And, you know what I'm saying? That's all. You ain't watching TV all day.
It's static.
So I want to stay up and watch Gunsmoke. Like, you know, Dad, like, man, boy, turn that TV off. I'm like, I ain't going to turn the TV off till I watch Gunsmoke and Ironside or something. And, man, look, she's like, I snuck over to the female barracks, someplace I wasn't supposed to be. But anyway. And I wanted to watch TV. She said, boy, you better turn the TV off. I'm like, why? She said, you know that TV gonna go off in 5 minutes, you're gonna be asleep. And she said, demons gonna get in you. I said, girl, what you talking about? You don't know nothing about that stuff. She said, look, turn their TV off so it's not on the snow on the channel. And they made movies about it. And to me, look, I'm gonna tell you, the movies tell the truth. News tell lies. If you pay attention, these movies been telling us stuff for a long time. So anyway, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. She's pacing the wall. I'm spooning behind her. And my back is to the TV. I got in. I felt like a deep sleep, and all of a sudden, I felt pressure on my back. And I kind of woke myself up. I woke up throwing elbows. Like, get off me.
Right.
Man, I woke myself up, wasn't nothing there. Because I never went in that room again. I said, girl, you right. I'm like, I don't know what you got going on. Because she offered to, remember one time, she's like, you can go to church with me down home where I'm from. I said, no, I don't mind going to church. That's cool. She's like, well, I'm going to tell you, we got buckets in our church. I said, y'all collecting that much money? She said,
Yeah, I'm like buckets.
She said, no, boy, we ain't collecting no money. She said, it's a little small town. She said, but you know, when you casting out spirits and demons, people be spitting them in a bucket. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm straight. No, I don't want to go to your church. I said, I don't want to see nothing like that. Dealing with what I just did with in your room? Hey, I don't know what y'all got going on. Y'all might be dancing around with that cyanide and snakes. I'm not going to your church.
And you know, it's funny because the old folks you tell us all the time. you got me rolling over here. The old folks you tell us all the time, don't go to bed, don't go to sleep with TV on.
Yes,
because your subconscious
can
pick up whatever is going on in that TV or something that can get in your spirit. So they would tell us all the time, you know, not to go to sleep with the TV on.
It's a real thing today because my grandson, he the master of the remote. If you put it on a YouTube for kids or anything like that, let it play and go back in there and check in on it. It's gonna have some type of scary, evil thing on there.
Yes.
Even that little thing, I forgot his name, but I don't like calling out demons. They say not to call out demons' names, but it had that demon on there. And I said, now look, now if you and I go on YouTube and have a channel, we speaking on history about us and say who we are, this and that, and they might flag us. But y'all let this stuff on kids' channel prevail with demonology and witchcraft. Man, look, there's a real active situation in Hot Springs with demonology and witchcraft and stuff like that. But people don't, you know, we heard the stories, but man, I remember being 5 years old and seeing my first spirit. And right down there in Wade Street in the projects. And to the day, my sister said, oh boy, that wasn't no ghost. That was the little Barbie head that my sisters had. I say, the Barbie head is over here on the desk. Well, I seen him standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
Man, I was little. Man, I must have been about 5 or 6 years old. And you can go to sleep and, you know, a bad butt wake up 3 in the morning. You know, hey, that's some hours. Between 3 and 6.
Yeah,
that's some hours. And I see a figure standing in the doorway, head almost tall as the doorway. So a little kid sitting there, my eyes got so I just started hollering. And I kept seeing a white face and a white head and whatever. And next thing you know, my dad come running in there with his honey. What's going on here? And I was shook. I was so scared. And I kept seeing what I seen, and they were like, man, that was that Barbie doll head. Because they're like, that's the only white thing in the house. I'm like, nah.
Probably about 2 weeks ago, maybe, in the house. And Sister Brenda had came in the house. And she like, you see that? And I'm like, huh? I'm like, did I see what? And she was like, she said, you didn't see nothing? I said, I didn't see nothing. She said, no, I saw something come in this house behind me. And I'm like, I ain't see it.
Dark spirit or a light spirit?
I think it was a light spirit, but anyway, she was like,
bad.
She was like, she's like, nope. She put the bags down. She said, no, I'm going into prayer right now. She said, whoever this is, she said, both of us can't stay here. She said, one of us got to go.
Yes, right.
And she went into prayer, and I'm sitting there like, I didn't even see it, but it wasn't meant for me to see, you know, at the time.
Well, I try to get in the habit before I cross the threshold of my house to pray, you know, and I pray off anything, you know, not to let anything that's unclean come into my house. Anything when I open the door that is unclean to come out of my house. You know, you let the windows and doors open. And I try to make a habit of before I cross the threshold because demons will attach to you like gum on the sidewalk. Once you step on it, it's just going to follow you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be careful of that. We have to be mindful of the things that we might be not introduced to, but around, or a conversation with somebody, or somebody come up and gently touch you. You know what I'm saying? I seen that in a movie with Denzel Washington. You know, that dude had that spirit, kept jumping to people and following. Man, come on, that stuff is real. everything in a movie comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you think about it. Oh, I mean, talking about gifts. Look, I forgot, sister. I picked this up. This comes from some ladies that has a ministry to help out women in crisis, and they came from Russellville. I had to get you that card. I didn't bring that card with you, but I want to bring y'all some gifts. We should start.
Oh, okay.
This
I'm always taking gifts.
Yeah. And this is for sister.
Every other guest. Y'all see this? Mm-hmm. About gifts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, somebody invites you into their space. You're supposed to bring a gift.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Thank you so much.
This is a complete apocrypha.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a apocrypha, meaning hidden books. Okay. Well, they ain't hidden no more. Yeah. They ain't secret.
Yeah.
What I like about the apocrypha is, first of all, the Messiah in the Standard 66 makes references to books that's in there. Mm-hmm. And it gives you more details of stuff we've heard before. But you don't know the details of it because I got to listen to Pastor Geno Jennings, old school preacher. Man, he broke it down. I learned about. I can listen to some of it. I'm just gonna be. I can take some of it. He's very radical. Almost like he got a Muslim type of vibe going on. But I glean what I can glean from anybody because on my journey, at my little tent shop, it wasn't going off to a school. It wasn't going off to a ministry training. It was just in my shop because I'm an audio listener. I'm an audio learner. Yeah. So I learned by listening. And the Most High took me to, it was Geno Jennings, and then it was a brother out in California. My mom said we used to listen to him all the time. His dad passed away here not too long ago. And I forgot his name, Fred Price Jr. And I listened to all his series on science, and the Bible, and race and religions. I listened to all his series. And it felt like the Most High took me on a journey to glean what I can glean from all these pastors, Pastor Geno Jennings and Fred Price Jr. And then I went to another young brother that used to be a dope boy on the streets, and I learned a lot from him. And I'm still learning from him, even though he's gone. He passed on, but man, I learned a lot from that brother. And I feel like when I pop on YouTube, whatever video pop on at first, that's the one I should listen to, because I've been stubborn sometimes. I've seen some of the Ashkenazi Jew. I remember a video so well that had an Ashkenazi Jew on there. Man, I ain't trying to listen to what they're talking about. I call them the you wish people. You wish you was the real people. But anyway, I don't want to get your channel flagged.
Yeah, please don't give me a trouble.
No, I'm just laughing. But I wouldn't watch it. And when the Most High got something for your will and your way, his way, they kept popping up. Okay, I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to watch it. Then I found out there's a difference between ultra-Orthodox Jews and the other type of Jews. Because ultra-Orthodox Jews believe that there's not supposed to be a state of Israel. They don't believe in the occupation of Israel. I'm like, wow. See, and the Most High can see if you just be obedient, you're going to learn something. And I did. I listened to the whole thing, and I just didn't know about the difference between the different sects of Jews and they're the Zionist Jews. And I'm like, man. He's like, well, if you think about it, in Revelation 12:9 and 2:9 and 3:9, talking about those that say they're the synagogue, and synagogue, they wind up being the synagogue of Satan. And you think about that, I said, well, it made me dig deeper. Because if you really want to know and obtain that knowledge, you have to diligently seek him. He's not going to lay it out for you. He's not going to give you complete understanding until you're ready for it. Right. And you have to be serious in your heart, you know what I'm saying, in your mindset that I want to learn more, not to say I know it all, so I can understand it better. Therefore, I can understand the Most High. Because, he rejects people that reject knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to get rejected. I'm trying to be accepted. But it's been a journey. And it helps me in my warfare, my daily warfare, because in this walk, it's not easy because like you said, you seen that spirit in your house. Well, I learned it. I was part of a different organization back in the day. I would say mid-2000. Faithful, you know what I'm saying? And I found out that everybody go to church is not righteous. The devil's so slick with it, you know what I'm saying? And we found that some of these people have been accused of witchcraft. So anytime you listen to a preacher preach, most preachers can preach his own story because the best story any man can tell is his own. Mm-hmm. So he's making it relatable to his experiences. Mm-hmm. And he preached against witchcraft, only to find out it's some witchcraft going on.
Right. I got a lot of preachers. We talk about that. You know, when you talking about like the division and like, you know, you got this sect, and even when you go back to your military, you talking about the military, you knew who your enemy was. You know, when you look at us as people, and we can take this inside the church, outside of the church.
Yes, sir.
We can take it's broad. Mm-hmm. We got a spiritual enemy, but we fight ourselves more than we fight the enemy
or anything.
Yeah, it's like, you know, one of the things that people have asked, because when you talk, you know, you use words like the Most High, and so I understand what you say. I know what you say. I know who you're talking about. I get it. People are not used to different lingo, or things of that nature. And one of the things that happened to me early on was I was working in Rockford, and man, this white guy, my supervisor. Man, we was talking about the Bible one day, and I'm young. I'm fresh in it, man. I think I know. Hey, I think I know it all. Man, look at him.
You're on fire for him.
He got the questioning everything that I said I believe. Man, I got so mad, bro. I was ready to quit my job. I was ready to fight. And I left work that day, and I prayed. I said, God, I'm about to quit. I said, I know I need this money for my family, but I'm about to quit. And I said, he gonna make me do something to him. I said, because I never, nobody ever challenged me like that. Yeah. And he wasn't doing arrogantly. He was just like, oh, so this is what you believe. What about this? Yeah. So I'm like,
he didn't come with you with malice.
Yeah. And And the next day I got up. It was time for me to go to work. I said, yeah, let me go to work. I said, man, I said, I hope this dude don't. I said, it'd probably be good. He just don't say nothing to me today. And I walked in, and on the counter, when I walked in, there was an envelope, and it had my name on it. And I said, "Oh, they're gonna find me. They're gonna find me with a car." And I'm like, "Wait a minute!" And inside that car, he said, "I know you were so angry yesterday." He said, "I never asked you to believe what I believe." He said, "I just was asking you about your belief. And you couldn't tell me because you got so angry.
You was defensive.
Because we didn't agree on something."
Oh, of course.
Man, tears started rolling down my eyes. I felt so convicted, and I felt guilty. Like, how am I fighting another brother? We believe the same thing. Yeah. It may be a one or two nuances that we disagree on, which doesn't matter. They have nothing to do with us going to heaven. They have nothing to do with the kingdom.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, in that moment, I learned to listen to people, even if I don't understand. Get an understanding, try to see where people are coming from. Because at the end of the day, if we all serving God, if we all loving God, and we try to do the thing the Bible teaches us to do, brother, we brothers.
That's right. That's right. And I don't let that bother me because I attend this ministry here. You're a big supporter. I attend in other ministries in town. And I've been a supporter, Seventh-day Adventist. It makes no difference to me because, first of all, we're all learning out of the same book. And the way I get it's not going to be the way you get it. And because I say the Most High Yah. And I like the fact that you going to ask me. Oh, yeah. And most people get offended and sit to themselves. But see, if there's an offense, if there's an offense between two brothers, then the one that feels offended is not the other person that you said offended you responsibility. It's your responsibility because you had a problem. That person might not even know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That this bothered me. Or you might not know their agenda or their angle or why they're asking you. They only question you that to see if you really stand on what you believe. Because a lot of people faking the funk and they faking the faith. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're going through the motion. They're religious folks. You know, the Bible don't speak on being religious. The Bible speaks on being righteous. Yes. You know, and to be faithful unto the Most High. And look, if I can say Yahweh, and I saying it for short, in the Son, Yahshua, and if I can say that, and when I say that, I'm speaking of the same one you're speaking of, because I'm using a name. You're using a different name. But okay, so if somebody's bothered by that, okay, so well, why does the Most High always say, I am the God of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's identifying himself. So if the Most High can identify himself, why can't I identify it? Because God is a blank statement. It's a title.
And one of the things that, when I tell you, when I first heard you were saying, I'm like, man, what cousin? What are you talking about? and I asked you when you told me, I'm like, man, I got to go research this for myself.
That's what I want you to do.
I went home, and bro, I promise you, I spent a good week. But no, nothing with that, what you did, that right there. And I came out of it and said, man, cuz, talking about the same person, same people we talking about. He talking the same time. He talking about the Lord of our salvation.
That's right.
He talking about the Messiah of our salvation. I'm like, he talking about the same. But people, what I've noticed is this: we are afraid of what we don't know, what we don't understand.
Oh yeah.
And for me, if somebody want to use the Hebrew language, somebody want to use the Greek language, and for most of us, we think that's just where it stops with those two. No, it goes further.
Because you have the Aramaic.
Yes, you have the Aramaic, which was part of the Old Testament. Someone was reading in Arabic. Yeah, and so, but what I learned out of all of that is, and this is what I try to tell people all the time: you get caught up on languages.
Yeah.
If we call a book, but then you go to another country and they call it a buak. The object didn't change.
It sure did.
Just the language of what you called it, but the object stayed the same.
That's right.
As long as the object stayed the same, if you want to call him Yahshua, and you want to call him Rose of Sharon, you want to call him Little of the Valley, whatever a person wants to call him.
As many names.
So, but the object stays the same, because the object is always going to be Lord of our salvation.
So my approach to the way I get it shouldn't offend you.
Right.
And if it does, you should talk to me about it. Because there's an offense. So you go to your brother and say, man, this bothers me. And you did the right thing. You went and researched it.
Man, I did.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't tear me down.
Oh, no.
And I didn't browbeat you or Bible beat you to say, well, I know what I'm talking about. You don't.
Right.
Man, no. I come with much respect and love.
We had
and that's why we have understanding and be able to talk and say, and I'm going to send you something so you can get insight to where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many falsehoods out there. And it's too much contention and division amongst our people. It's a shame that, like, let's say the Martin Luther King ceremony they just passed that I went to, that it wasn't packed out with our people. You know, for whatever reason, whatever you want to contribute, whatever you want to think about the man, regardless, he put himself out there. And Martin Luther King Jr. was no saint. You know, people that know. You know what I'm saying? But it don't matter. He was on something for his people. And he sacrificed himself for his people. You know what I'm saying? If a soldier go to war, we sacrificing our life for anybody, you know what I'm saying, under that flag. You know what I'm saying? Whether they the Klansman, you know what I'm saying, or a Black Panther, or your family. We don't get to pick and choose. We're going to follow our order. We're going to go forth and try to destroy the enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So you don't get to pick and choose for that. But it bothers me that more people went there, and the fact that more churches don't come together, because I had this weird idea in my head that all the pastors, the so-called Black pastors, got together every month, had a luncheon or a get together, or, you know, come for a community meeting to see what we're dealing with in the community. We just had a death in the community. You know what I'm saying? And what are we doing for the violence in the community? What are we doing just to uplift the community or come together once a month? And I said, you know what? If that doesn't happen, I'm gonna talk to my partner, Tim, at the barbershop. Let's make it happen. I talked to Miss Mary Moore at the Web Center, and said, you know what? If we can find a date every month, I sponsor it. You know, we'll sponsor it and bring a breakfast, a dinner, a luncheon, whatever you want to call it, just a social event. All the pastors, you know what I'm saying, in their churches, bring a significant other, and let's sit down and fellowship and talk, because there's too much division and not enough support.
And that's a big struggle for me, is how we supposed to be all in this together. We all supposed to be helpers one to another, and yet we don't see each other on a regular basis. We don't talk to each other on a regular basis. We don't fellowship with each other on a regular basis. It's like you got these people over here, got these people over here, got these people over here, and it's like, okay,
They all clicked up.
Yeah, and then,
So how you going to win some souls and get people on the street to come in? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you what. I don't mean to interrupt you, but one of the best things for ministry was during COVID. I'm going to tell you why. Not for the live stream, but for your parking lot services. Especially when Pastor Mike and Sarah Smith, when they would have their parking lot service across the street, then my partner with the baloney truck, Tony, he would come listen. It didn't matter if I was there or not. He'd come there and sit and listen. Because you have people that's in the world that needs to be fed, but they're not coming in that building for whatever reason, because they just don't feel comfortable, whatever their conviction is. But if when you got it out in the open air, the way the Messiah did his ministry, he wasn't in no synagogue all the time. He went where he was needed. You can't make a deposit where, you can't make a difference where you don't make a deposit. The Great Commission says what? Go out on the highway. You got to go where the people, where you need it. And if they not listen, kick rocks and kick the dust off, keep it moving for somebody else that's going to listen. But you at least give them the opportunity. But if we're preaching and teaching to ourselves, pretty much everybody come that's faithful and come to the ministry or the organization, they get it. Okay, what about the ones that's passing by? You know what I'm saying? What about them? What about the lost ones? And give them an avenue to be able to approach you.
That was one of the things that I just said on Sunday, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before that. I was teaching, and one of the things I asked is, we shout and we dance and we have a great time in church, but nobody's addressing the babies out here that's dying.
That's right.
At some point, we gotta step outside of the frame,
the comfort zone,
and get out there and lead by example. Let them see Black pastors in the community. Let them see Black pastors getting involved in some of these community events. Let them see not only Black pastors, but Black men, or just any color man. But let them see men out here. And I use Black because I'm speaking of myself and my community and what I see. Let us get out there and show some support to these kids. I'm also in an organization called, what is it called? I can't think of it, but it's through a school. I can't even think of it, but,
Men of Troy?
Yes, Men of Troy.
Yes.
And they do things where they have men coming and open up doors for kids in the morning, having.
Yeah, I just did that yesterday.
Okay, so you involved.
Yeah, I do it through the American Legion.
Okay.
That was one of the things that I put on the table that we should do as far as being visible in the community.
Yes.
And just helping out.
Because it's going to go a long way, man. Because one of the things is I love the church. I love the church. I love God. I love the church. I love the church.
That's good.
But the one thing I understand is this, though. We have to take the church in the community. Yeah. Because the community may not ever come to the
Yes,
church.
sir. That's true.
And I know people, like to say, and I can get into that if I want to. People like to say, well, the building is the building, we are the church. Okay. Let me speak in terms of we are the church. We got to take the church to the community, because the community may not ever come to the church. So if the community ain't going to ever come to you, you might have to go to the community.
That's true. That's true. See, that's one thing that I respect about the brothers on the corner. And I'm not a person, I'm partial to the Hebrew, but I don't consider myself a Hebrew Israelite because I can't find that in the book. And as far as if you're going to say you're Israelite or in Hebrew or you're Charolite, then that's what you're going to call yourself. But them brothers out there in the corner, they're in the hood, they're in some of the worst places, and they're not just here, they're all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
Preaching the gospel. And even if you don't agree with them, they're going to cause you to do what you did with me. I mean, I'm going to go research that for myself. Okay, good. You know what I'm saying? Because the word is going forth. It's causing you to do your own due diligence and to diligently seek that word. Because I don't believe what that brother's saying on that corner. I'm going to prove him wrong. Well, good. Go read the book. That's what the Most High wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that, you might just be kind of pacified and comfortable where you're at. We have to be made to be uncomfortable to be improved on anything. You go to the gym, You walk down the street, walk in the back, like, man, there ain't nothing comfortable about that because every step your body's telling you to stop and go sit down somewhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you keep going and you only make your body stronger. You go in the gym, this week you benching 100 pounds. You know, for 2 weeks, I'm pushing up to 100 pounds now. After 2 weeks, the 100 pounds is light to you. Yeah. Your body got conditioned. Then you throw on 120, you know, and graduate. And every bit of it is uncomfortable, but we are too comfortable in these buildings and not bring us, which is the church. We the body. And somebody asked, like, well, brother, how can you ain't join the church? How can you ain't join the church? I'm like, I'm a believer. I thought I was already part of the body. You know, you want me to join your organization. That's different. And I said, well, research Christian denominations worldwide, 40,000. That's a lot of division. How can you believe the same thing 40,000 different ways? And that causes confusion to me and division amongst our people because some people won't rock with each other. And then, you know, you have Israelite brothers that won't rock. They sit here and have a conversation like this. It's got to be a debate. Man, look, I ain't got time for that.
And that's something.
Because that's not a salvation issue.
Yeah, and that's something I've gotten to the point. I just, you know, I was going people on social media, on TikTok at one time. Where I was going in and they go in. And then God just showed me the guy that, why are you wasting your energy?
Exactly.
With people
with keyboard gangsters.
And then a lot of the stuff that it said is not it's a belief. It's just was something they've heard or read.
But it's not a salvation issue.
No, that's my biggest issue with everything. Is it a salvation issue?
Yeah, the Messiah says the weightier matters.
Yes, the weightier matters. Is it a salvation issue? And I think for so many people, if we could stick to the salvation issues, I think we delete some of the division.
We can aim as 3 and 3.
Yeah,
we can aim as 3 and 3
together.
We can walk together, on the same accord. Yeah. You know, it don't matter if you got a suit on and a tie on, and I'm rocking fringes. You know, we walking together because we understand. You know what I'm saying? The goal. It's all about the kingdom. It's not about me thinking I know something over you. Because what good for my knowledge if I'm not sharing it with you anyway? You know, to have it stored up in my head, thinking my head, you know, so big it won't fit through a door. You know, it don't do me no good if I'm not sharing it with my brother and sister. You say you love them. And you're supposed to share with them, you know, what are you keeping it to yourself for? What good is it doing you? Matter of fact, I was just talking to the family and put on a family group chat, you know, you got the spring coming out. This is the actual biblical New Year's coming up because new life comes in the spring. It don't come in the winter, you know, in January 1st. That's the Gregorian calendar. So I have an app on my phone that tells me to keep up with the dates and the different feasts. And I'm like, man, look, if you think about it, really think about the children of Israel, you can relate that to us all day long. You know what I'm saying? Because we act just like them. Till this day, we act just like them. And everybody getting an uproar about politics and the government and stuff like that. And I say, well, if you think about it, if you really truly sit here and think and get your biases out the way and understand that when you have 8 years a president like Barack Obama, and then the balance of things, you got to have light and dark, sunshine and rain and stuff like that. You understand? Okay, so to me, the way I think, the way my mind works, a president like Trump makes sense. You know what I'm saying? He makes sense. And not only did he make sense, because it sends a message to me, well, to some folks on the racial thing, your best black man is not better than our worst white man. You know, but I look at it is for our people in our spiritual battle, what we doing worrying about a president anyway? You say you believe what that word say. Now you believe what the White House say. I mean, you got to choose who you're going to serve. You know what I'm saying? Because for us, most of the time, they just put something in front of us that look like this and we happy. Even though that person in the front of you don't do a darn thing for you. We just happy to look at it. We put the picture up on the wall and t-shirts and stuff like that. That joker ain't doing nothing for you. And they not only can't really do it, they're not going to allow him to do nothing for you. If you think about it, the most billionaires that look, you know, our people, they truly are not allowed to do nothing. They're always doing stuff in Africa and other countries. Have you noticed that? You know, your Oprahs and man, look, they can hire us and stuff like, but their foundations and really moving a lot of money, they're not going to let us move money from our elite to empower us. That's why you ain't never gonna no recreation. You need to just leave that alone.
Yeah.
Because I can go to the Bible tell you ain't gonna get no recreation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna happen.
I don't even know where that. I mean, I don't know how. That
Well,
ain't something
man,
I look for. I look for God said He'll supply all my needs.
Thank you. That part.
That's
what I'm
revelation.
saying.
That's my revelation.
So when it came to COVID and the shot and all that, I'm like, well, you putting all your trust, your health, your wealth, and being able to move around on a shot. That's gonna help. That's gonna save you, really. And unfortunately, if you research, a lot of black pastors died during COVID.
Oh yeah.
You know, hey, it's time to them woes.
Yeah.
We accept all the good in the Bible. We don't want to accept the bad. We don't want to accept there's witches and warlocks and people out here doing this stuff. And a lot of them look like us. I mean, all skin folks ain't kin folk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody look like us ain't up to the good. We are our own worst oppressor. To me, because there's nobody in our neighborhood that don't look like us coming to our neighborhoods selling drugs, shooting and killing, prostitution, all that. It's us. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out in a place and bump and step on your new Jordans.
I had said something a couple of Sundays ago, and I saw it happened to me so blatant yesterday. I was in a grocery store. This brother was in one of those, what you call them, willy carts, the ones you can roll, drive. And he came down my aisle, and he just went past me. And so I seen him on another aisle. And on another aisle, was about 3 other people that looked like me. He got close to each one of them people. Excuse me, sir, how you doing, sir? Excuse me, ma'am, how you doing, ma'am? Excuse me, sir, how you doing, sir? Got next to me and kept on going.
Ain't that something? They didn't speak to you.
Wait a minute, the devil told me to go stop that cart. The devil told me to go grab that cart. But I said, no. I said, you know what? I said, no. I said, you know what? I said,
throw some change on there. Said, stop it. Throw some change on the floor.
But I'm just sitting there like, man, it's like when it comes to us, man, it's like we just, it's like we see us in such a negative light.
Self-hatred.
And it's like that's why we can do all this stuff that we talk about doing. We can do all that, but until we start to see ourselves in a different light, that we're not that. You sent me a video of the woman, blew my mind when she got down.
Oh yeah,
she said, "Wait a minute, we ain't minorities. We ain't never been a minority."
No.
And she was
that's just a legal term.
Yes, and she was, man. I would listen to her, man. I'm like, man.
Yeah, it was old school too.
Yeah,
that was an old video.
I way up here when I got to listen to that video. I'm like, my head high. I'm like, hey, we somebody.
Yes,
which I always thought that, but
we have to be reminded.
You have to be reminded because you don't always get to hear it, and you don't always get to see people living and walking in it.
That's right.
And so
we only see the negative because it's everywhere. But listen, if you think about it, you talking about the strongest bloodline on earth. And I can boldly say that to the camera. This is the boldest bloodline on earth. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, only the strongest survive the trip in the first place. If you was weak, you're sick, or you mentally couldn't take it, you just jumped off the ship. You have to think your bloodline survived all that. It survived the Middle Passage. It survived slavery. All the way up to today. Our ancestors did better. Papa told me something that kind of shook me up. When the snack shop was opening back in the day, well, right after it closed. And I must have said something about Martin Luther King Jr. and segregation, desegregation or something. Like, grandson of me, he's shaking his head. He said, no. He said, let me tell you something. He said, desegregation was the worst thing to have a black. Oh, Papa, come on. I'm like you. I'm thinking I know something. There's somebody that lived it.
Yeah.
World War II veteran, and he know what it's like not to look a white person in the eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's like, no. He said, listen, when desegregation came, when black folks could go out on Central and go to different places to spend their money for goods and services, he said that destroyed the black dollar. It destroyed the black economy in this town and every town across our nation. He said, because now you have these Negroes that feel like, well, I don't want to patronize black-owned businesses no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, we can go and spend our money elsewhere, thinking you're going to do better, and you're gonna pay twice the money and get half the services. And he said it destroyed the black professionals in our neighborhood. in our community. He said, because your doctors, your dentists, your lawyers, at one time, no matter what you needed, you had to go to a black-owned business to get it or a black professional to get it. And Granddad was like, once the desegregation came, they changed the laws. And they said, look, they tore down all the black business, they ran all the black professionals out. And he said that did not help our community. Right now, a black dollar don't last in black community 6 minutes. It don't even recirculate.
That's true.
Yeah.
They've been talking about that for a minute now. Well, fam, we're gonna have to close out, but we got a couple questions.
Okay.
One viewer wants to know why he prays with his palms up.
I pray.
Why I pray? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why he pray? That's what I'm saying. Why you pray with
the
your
Bible
palms up?
says pray with open hands.
I ain't know. Can I say something?
Oh, okay.
I ain't know about your hands.
I would think you're supposed to be praying with your hands.
Yeah, I'm like, that would come in. Okay, so go ahead.
So the scripture talks about, first of all, if that emoji on texting.
Yeah.
Oh, how you know that's not a high five?
Yeah. I don't.
Okay. That's just something. But also, because I'm not Muslim.
All right.
But Muslims take a lot. Muslims actually read the Bible.
Oh yeah.
They say that if you can't find in the Quran, your reference is the Bible. But I look at that poem or the picture, say footsteps. You know, when I I can't hear it, and there's only one set of footprints in the sand. Okay, so if I'm down in a lower state, if I fall down like an elderly person, and you come to pick me up, can you pick me up like this? Yeah. So if I'm praying and I'm imagining a Messiah standing there holding my hands need to be open. I can't receive nothing with my hands closed.
All right, that's enough. He ain't preaching. He ain't preaching. That's it. That's enough right there.
The scripture says to pray with open hands, like this.
I'll be praying like this from now on. Lord, grab
because
me.
I want to receive something. Yes. I can't receive something with my hands. Yeah. And one more thing, when your hands like that, is your hands is bound, like you're in slavery or bondage. So I don't pray like that. Come out of Catholic Church, man. That's not biblical.
It's Black
History. Don't get me started.
History Month. It's Black History Month.
You're going to learn today.
It's Black History Month.
You're going to learn today.
And your daughter sent a message.
Oh, my goodness. For Nigel.
Yes, of course. She said you should have used her as an example, Daddy. I had to get the shot just to go overseas and still caught COVID like 3 or 4 times.
She the first one to bring it to the house. And I'm going to tell you, they didn't tell me. Because they knew I was against it.
Yeah.
I actually had to fight it in the military. I filed a religious exemption. And they kept throwing, they throw it out there. They were throwing curveballs at me left and right. Cause I had to sign 10 different memos basically saying the same thing. But they was like, Tidwell, we're going to put you out the army. I said, do what you got to do. But I'm standing on, what kids say, I'm standing on my business. But I'm standing more than that. I'm standing on my belief. Yeah. I'm not taking that shot. Because I had problems with the anthrax shots back in the military back in the day. We had colonels and high-ranking officers that, man, we're not taking that. So, look, they did enough experimenting me in Desert Storm. The lab rat that's out the cage. You're not sticking me with nothing else. Right. And they do a lot of experiment with soldiers. And hey, I'm not going. But I told them I filed a religious exemption, and I said I'm not taking the shot. I signed 10 different memos. It seemed like every week I had to go up to my unit. All right, they got it there. It went all the way to a 2-star general's desk. And my paperwork sitting there with all the scripture and all my belief in this military format it has to be in. And next thing you know, Austin, the brother, Secretary of Defense, said, you know what? We're canceling that. We're not going to make soldiers take that shot no more. So all praise to the Most High worked it out because I stood on what I believe. And now we have a new Secretary of War, Defense, what you call. He's all against soldiers having beards. Most brothers have situation with shaving. He gets shaving bumps. That's irreversible condition. He don't care. So I'm going to have to file religious exemption again.
Once you get them, bro, they there.
Yeah. But I tell you, I was just witnessing the other day and New Beginnings about the shot. So when my daughter got it, my wife said, I'm not going, if something happened to my baby, it's going to happen to me. And hey, all praises. But I'm not taking it.
I ain't going.
Hey, somebody got to tell a story. Somebody got to
tell a story.
Yeah. Hey. So they took it. I didn't know. But I understand why my daughter did that. But I'm like, baby, you got to increase your faith. Because this is what they're saying right now, but everybody's dealing with this COVID situation. We don't know what's going on. But I'm like, man, look, it's all a test. It's just a test. And I didn't take it. She got it, then wifey got it. My other daughter, I was the last person in the house to get COVID. And when I got it, I was kind of relieved. And I'm going to tell you why. Because now I have to show and prove my faith. My faith is not going to allow this sickness to take me out, for first of all, or nobody in my family. So I'm like, devil, come on with it. Give me your best shot.
Right.
Because I believe, and I'm going to stand on what I believe. And look, we fasted and prayed. We separated in different rooms. And all praises to Most High Yah that my baby grandson, 4 or 5 years old, did not get it. He never got it. In a house full of adults that had it. Right. Man, look, you can't tell me nothing about the Most High.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what happened with that. And to this day, I'm not going to be so quick to when the world, especially when the world wants to give you something for free, man, you better be leery of that. Or pay you to come get it? Man, come on, bro. You talking about we gonna go to Africa with it?
No. Giving up gift cards and get the shot.
Man, come on. I'm not going.
I'm getting that shot for chicken.
Boy, come on.
I'm sorry. I did not mean that. I did not mean that. Oh my God. I'm gonna let you go.
You said it, bro. Hey, it's the truth though.
Hey, man.
It better ugly truth than a pretty lie.
Yeah, you got that right.
But it's a shame that some people I really dislike. I don't hate is such a strong word. I dislike when our people are so easily led, like sheeple. It's so easily led off the cliff because it's popular. It's because that's what's going on. And we don't stand on that. And some of the most people that so easily swayed is so-called believers. Church folks.
Why you think God said, why you think God compared us to sheep?
Yeah.
Of all animals in the kingdom, sheep.
It just leads you right off the cliff.
And we are, man, there's so much we could cover, man. We can do a part two. I'm going to bring you back part two.
We do a part two.
One of the things, man, I really, the first episode I did, one of the viewers asked me the name Changing Lanes. And I told him, I said, God gave me the name. I was going to work and I was trying to think of a name for the podcast, and God said Changing Lanes. And I'm like, that don't even make sense. What do you mean Changing Lanes? He said, what do you do every day? Is it what do you do every day constant? Drive?
Yeah.
He said, how do you get from point A to point B? I'm like, I'm listening. He said, because you have to change lanes in order to get to where you're going.
Yeah.
He said, now, if you stay in the same lane and your destination on the left and you stay in the right lane, you can't get to your destination. So you have to change lanes at some point.
Yes, sir.
And so he said, changing lanes. He said, because for me, I wanted my podcast to be biblically based and God-centered.
Yeah.
But I also want to talk about things that we don't talk about.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to just come here and talk about what we already talked about and we don't ever discuss things that we have not discussed or we're afraid to discuss.
Yeah, we need to keep it 100, keep it a buck, and keep it what we deal with every day.
And one of the things this one shows tonight, I'm really proud of this because it's so much on the lines of what I believe, and that is this: regardless if you agree with something I don't agree with, I don't agree with something you agree with, but we agree with salvation, we agree with the kingdom. How come you and I can't sit down and have a conversation? How come it's got to be, I don't talk to that brother because he don't go to this kind of church. I don't talk to that brother because he Baptist or he Methodist or she this or she that. Why we can't talk to each other regardless of what name is on the top of our church? Because at the end of the day, you ain't going to be held accountable for the name. You're going to be held accountable for how you live.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that you and I, and even when we first started talking about this, I know you can see the look on my face. I'm like, man, this dude right here.
Hey,
I said, this dude right here.
Still sharp and stuff.
and I came back and I'm like, man, what are you talking about, man? All right, because I never want to be able to dismiss anybody. No, because they don't see something the way I see it.
Yes, sir.
And most of the time, brother, if you really take away the as you say, the what I want to call the surface of a thing, you realize how much you and this other person really agree.
Yes, sir.
Y'all just may agree in different terms. Y'all may be agree in different ways, but at the end of the day, if we about kingdom business, you my brother.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
my sister.
We were operating out of the same book.
Same book.
Yeah.
I tell you, I got my first experience, and I think it was called Men of Gap or Standing in the Gap.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I joined. It was a plethora of brothers. I mean, when I say brothers, I mean people of God. I don't mean color.
Yeah.
We was in worship.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am. I only know one way to worship, brother. I've been in the same thing. I've been in the same church, doing it the same way. I only knew one way. Man, I'm sitting there. I got a brother on one side of me. He done got on his knees and he worship. I got another brother. He's standing up and he doing something. He worship. Then the brother down there, he doing something different. And I can't even worship no more because I'm looking at them like, man, y'all doing this wrong.
Mm-mm.
And man, the guy got up to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, look over to your right and look over to your left. He said, you are in experience of something you don't usually see.
That's right.
He said, all different people are coming together for God, for God himself.
That's right.
And maybe worshiping different, maybe speaking in different languages, maybe praying in different. But they all here for one reason.
So
He said, this your brother.
that's right. So you got the Malcolm X experience when he first went to
Yes, I did, man. It was great. It was great, bro. I'm ashamed to say it now.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even worship, bro. I was like,
just so
I
distracted.
was so like, y'all ain't doing this right. This is not how you do this. And I'm sitting there like, man, look at no, y'all look at me. And I'm sitting there like,
Mm-mm. They brought you out of
man, these
religion.
brothers crying.
Yeah, they brought you out of religion that day.
I'm sitting there like,
Mm-hmm.
we have a young lady come to our church. When she comes to our church,
Mm-hmm.
most people, they come to the altar, they just come to the altar. She don't wait on nobody. She don't need nobody.
She know what she's doing
She gonna come fall on her knees,
Mm-hmm.
and there she go. I hope she don't mind me calling her name. That's Sister Joy.
Well, hey,
Sister
you
Joy,
ain't got no business looking at what you
I
doing.
love
You
it.
need to be on your knees dealing with what you're dealing
When
with.
she go down on her knees, I could be stood up. I could be doing something. I just sit there and I shouldn't say it.
Hey, she's serious.
I just be sitting there looking like, go on, girl, y'all leave alone. Don't worry about what she got going on. We got some. They'll get up and just come to the back and worship because, and I'm like, what people don't realize, and I learned it today. I know more time, but I learned it today, man. I was with a client today,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't talkative. And I was like, oh, man, I'm just sitting there trying to pull teeth. I ain't getting nowhere. and something just said, be quiet. Just be quiet. So I said, okay. I said, if you want to, you can go ahead and just take a moment. Just take some time to yourself.
Yeah.
And I walked out the office, and I was thinking, I was like, Tom, what did you just learn? And I'm like, oh, came back to me. It says, sometimes when a person is not talking, they need silence because sometimes people have to process why they even in that present moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked away and started doing something else, came back, and he was like, I'm ready.
You got to meet people where they at.
Yeah, man. I'm like, he just needed that moment. Like, he said, I just came from the doctor. I've been on the road all day. And he said, I got this issue, I got that issue. He said, he said, my mind wasn't here yet.
Yeah.
And so when I gave him that moment of silence, he was able to process, okay, I need to do this. Okay, I'm here now. I'm here. I'm away from that. I'm here now. And for me, it was like that, man, you got to stop thinking you got to stop thinking you can fix everything with your words or when you got the right thing. Sometimes the best thing to do is not say nothing.
That's right. That's right.
Just let people process where they are.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm glad. And you got to come back to work, too. I ain't going to tell you what your cousin said. I'm going to tell you because I know you probably listen. I'm tell you what Anthony said. When he found out you was coming on,
Mm-hmm.
he said, uh-oh. he said, don't tell him what you finna get. I said, oh, no. I said, no. He was saying it joking. He said, no. He said, you ain't going to have to answer too many questions with bro. He said, bro, he going to tell that story.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you coming on, man. And we definitely going to have you again.
Yes, sir. I love the fact that y'all let me have this
Man.
moment to come here, and be a part of your podcast. And Changing Lanes that's a good name because when you was talking about driving one lane in direction, that's my wife. She know you got to make a left 2 miles, 5 miles down the street. You better get in that lane that you, sir. I'm I'm like, I don't have to drive in the same lane all the time.
You got to change lane.
He said, look at you, now you can't get over.
Yeah.
I said, I ain't woman, you don't know what you're talking
Man, I knew it. He gave me that, and I started talking through it myself.
That's a good name. I like that.
I said, because sometimes you have to change lane. It's not because you're at your destination.
That's
Sometimes
right.
you have to change lane because somebody else want to get in the lane you're in.
Come on, man.
Sometimes you have to change lane because you got to avoid hitting the object.
Well, there's a fast lane and then there's a slow lane.
So you always got it changing lanes, and that's why I came in with the name, bro. And I wanted this platform to not only be spiritual and uplifting and encouraging and inspirational, but I also want to be able to say, hey, we brothers and sisters, man. We can sit down and have a conversation. If we can't sit down and have a conversation,
what does it say about us as a people?
What they say about us.
Because we need to break down those barriers. We got to fix us first. We can't expect nobody outside our community to fix us. You know what I'm saying? We are our own worst enemy, and we don't like to hold ourselves accountable. And that's one of the biggest problems. You know, as a man, as a husband, as a father, you know, and as a brother to you, I have to hold myself accountable. You know, if I did not show up on time and didn't text you, you know, you would look at me differently. You know, and we didn't try to do this thing 3 or 4 times.
I know, right?
You know, but everything lined up the way it's supposed to be. So a man is supposed to be accountable.
Yeah. And I'm glad, and I'm really glad that God did things the way He did, because one thing I can sit here and say, those other times I was going to try to have some questions prepared. I was going to go take you down this road, but just to let you be free to go down the road. And
well, see, I was going to do the same thing.
And I'm glad, because you know, somebody just asked a question that may not ever knew that, but with the understanding, because that's not something I was teaching, because I didn't never pay.
Yes, it's biblical.
Yeah, with you know, with the points up and down, they may, you know, maybe it'll help. And like you said, you can glean a lot from everything people say.
Exactly.
And you know, people, you know, like I said in our conversation, I was writing down things like, okay, I'm gonna use that. Okay, I'm gonna get on that next time.
But see, I was on the same thing, and I was thinking, I'm gonna say this, and now I'm getting my phone. I'm gonna write this down. And one of my customers, and it's one of my repeat customers. All praises for my customers. He said, man, you just pray about it. You know, he said, the Most High Yahweh, He's going to give you what you need to say. You know, I'm not coming in here with no script and no thing. No, that's a pre-planned Q&A. No, let it flow. You know, let it flow naturally and from the spirit that's dwelling in you to know what to say. Oh, yeah. And we didn't ate up so much time, because I was asking sister, I'm like, you got to do an hour. I got to be here. I'm nervous.
I was 30 minutes, bro.
So we're doing part 2. That's fine.
We got to do part 2. We do want to say goodnight. We want to close, but you know, I never close without giving an inspirational word. And
that's good.
We thank God for our guests, our brother, our family, our friend, Brother Benard Tidwell. We really appreciate him opening up and even talking about the trauma he's experienced. And we didn't get to it in this one. We will next one, because he talks about the trauma he experienced. But if you look at him now, you wouldn't know he experienced that trauma, and how he came through it. And thank God that God brought him over it and through it. And today he's a walking testimony.
All praises
of how good our God is. Change the Lane family, I want to leave you with an inspirational word. Brother Benard said something earlier. He said when he got in the military, he said how they break you down to build you up. I don't know what you're going through tonight, but I just want to tell you this. Sometimes God allows you to go through things just to put you in a position you're supposed to be in, to give you exactly what you need.
That's right.
And sometimes we have to be broken in order to be filled. And before you run out on God, before you quit, before you throw in the towel, seek his will. And understand that what seems like a test may just be your testimony. So Change the Lane, we thank you. We love you. Continue to support us. Continue to write in with your questions. Even if you have questions after this, if you write them, we'll get them to them and we'll get them answered for you. And I may not be the best answer some, so we'll put them back in the hands of the person that said it. So tonight, but we thank God for you. We thank God for you, Brother Benard. Thank God for Sister Bernard coming and directing tonight and producing. we want to thank her. My older daughter got mad at me, so she didn't want to help me. So
I was on my own. That's all right. That's all
but
right.
I thank God for all of the listening. Continue to listen. We'll be back next week. I think and then we'll get our brother back for part 2 after we do our next one, so we can
That's good.
Can get on this and go forward with that. So, you have anything else you want to say?
I would just say to the listeners, thank you for your patience and listening to us, rattle on and share some experiences with you. I would say shalom to everyone listening. And shalom is not just a greeting. It's not something you say when you go by. It means to destroy the authority that's attached to chaos in your life. Mm-hmm.
In those words, change your lanes, shalom.
Shalom.